Welcome back to Overtime Heroics. I'm Mason Shatwell, and joining me today is Haider Khan, who has just recently competed on Almighty Fighting Championship 19. Haider, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. How's everything going with you?
It's going all good. Before I talk about any upcoming fights, I wanted to ask what was it like getting a win on Almighty?
It was good. It was enjoyable. The show was pretty good. It was a good night. The team had a very good night. It was just overall, it was good performances. Everybody had a good fight on that fight. I think all the fans afterwards said they just enjoyed the full show.
100%. I've watched Almighty for a while, and there's been some great fights over the years, and it's good to see them back again because I know they had a while off, like most promotions, but you're fighting again on Almighty. I've seen him post it before November 20th.
Yeah.
How are you feeling for that?
Yeah, I'm feeling good and happy. I knew about this fight anyway. Ray messaged me quite a while ago about this fight. He was saying that obviously win this one, and he went, I've got this one lined up for you. And I was like, yeah, I accepted this fight probably about 3 months ago.
Jesus. Before we talk about the upcoming fight, how was your preparation for your last fight on Almighty?
Well, it was perfect. Everything went well. We always just write down a little plan on the camp, how we're going to plan things out, what I need to be working on and stuff. And everything went solid. All the coaches were in, and we put together a solid game plan.
I know this was your second pro fight that you've just had, and you went at pro earlier this year. And I wanted to ask, what made you want to go pro? Because obviously, I've seen from your record you had to take some time out due to COVID, like everyone else. But was it COVID that made you want to go pro, or did you just feel ready anyway?
Yeah, it was a bit of both, really. The COVID thing, obviously, I wasn't getting any fights and stuff, but even then, even if I did turn pro, there still wasn't going to be many fights because you're starting off, so you have to start on these small, not everyone, but starting these regional shows. But no, it was more just, I was ready. I felt like I was just putting on, I was getting better and better each week, to be honest, and I felt my level was up there then, and I was coming towards the back end of my amateur run anyway. I was meant to fight for all the, titles, and it just never came because of COVID. And I was like, do I really need those titles to go pro? And in my head, I was just saying, no, I don't. And I felt confident enough just to take the step.
100%. Well, obviously, with the professional game, it's not too different to the amateur. But how did you find the transition from your last amateur fight to your first professional?
It's a bit different in terms of pacing the rounds. Of course, because you go from 3 to 5 minutes. 3 minutes, anybody can push out 3 minutes. But the 5 minutes, you now got to pick your spots of when you see weakness in your opponent and go in. And it's still the same thing, still kicking and punching at somebody. So from the fighting aspect, it doesn't change too much.
And I know you had a amateur record of, I think, 5-1. I wanted to ask about that one defeat. How did that affect you when you suffered that loss? Did it affect you anything badly, or did it spur you on even more?
It was a bit of both. Obviously, it took me a while to get over it. In terms of, I never wanted to lose. Nobody ever wants to lose, of course. And it was on a big stage. It was a European Championship final, so I felt embarrassed, like most people do when they lose. They feel a bit disappointed, but got over it quite quickly in terms of I want to get straight back to training. I want to get back to it and just keep fighting. But in terms of, yeah, it stressed me out a bit and stuff. But it's life, isn't it? You got to cope with it and just move forward.
Well, let's go on to the fight that's, like I mentioned earlier, just been announced today. I'm not going to ask you, obviously, a game plan, but what do you think you can expect from your new opponent?
Well, I think he's very similar to me in terms of our skill sets that we both present. We're both quite well-rounded fighters. We can stand and trade. We can take people down. So it's going to be an interesting fight in terms of what we both decide to do on the night and who can implement that game plan better. And that's who I think who really wins. And I feel like I am the better fighter, seeing his previous fights and stuff. But obviously, you never know on the night. But for me personally, I feel like I just do everything a little bit better than him.
100%. As you mentioned earlier that you knew about this fight for a while, how does it feel to be able to fight 3 times in a year after not being able to fight for a whole year?
Yeah, it's kind of mad because even when I was fighting amateur and stuff, that's probably the most fights I got in a year was 3. So it's kind of weird now to be in a situation where we've come to post-COVID really now, and I've got 3 fights within 5-6 months of each other. And I think now that's what the professional game has now. Around your name, you get a good couple of wins, a good couple of stoppages, and people, they want you on your show.
100%, obviously. with this fight being, I think, end of November, is there a plan of potentially getting one in December, or do you think that's it for the year?
I think that's it for the year in terms of I want to take some, not necessarily time off from training, but I want to take some time off from competing and just, I want to go over, review these fights and just really start developing for the next level. Going, hopefully after this fight, 3-0, it's time to take a step up in opponents and quality. So I need to be ready for that and start preparing my skill set, developing in it more. And I just want to take some time out and just develop that skill set.
Should you become 3-0 on November 20th, obviously 3-0, really good professional record, it's not going to be too much time if you keep picking up these wins that some of the bigger shows will be keeping a lookout, obviously the Cage Warriors and stuff like that. Is that something that's in the near future that you're hoping to look at, potentially Cage Warriors, if you keep getting these wins?
Yeah, Cage Warriors need a middleweight. I'm always here. I'm always willing to trade with people in the octagon. Yeah, it is what it is. They've never come over and asked me yet or anything like that, but they do, and they put an offer there. I'll take it. And obviously, I think when I look at that division, I feel like I could do bits in it.
Well, obviously with the Cage Warriors division, it is quite, it's not the deepest division they've got, but they've got some real talents in there. But I wanted to ask, what got you in the sport of MMA in the first place?
Sport of MMA. So really, I just started off once I stopped playing rugby. I got a little injury from there. There's a jiu-jitsu gym just down the road from where I live called Stealth. And I used to just go down there, do a bit of gi, no gi, and I really just enjoyed grappling a bit. And then I used to watch quite a bit of fighting while I was playing rugby, but couldn't do it at that time. You know, like the George St. Pierre's, Anderson Silvers, and this always just interested me, to be honest. And then once I just decided to commit, I just decided to go to MMA and just start training.
Who would you say you looked up to the most? Would you say it's the Anderson Silva, the GSPs?
Yeah, more like GSP. GSP is like a fighter that I've always admired. I think high fight IQ, could do everything, to be honest. Could strike. Wasn't known for being an outstanding striker, but like I said before, good everywhere. A good martial artist.
100%. I don't want to keep you too long, so I'll wrap it up soon. I just wanted to ask a couple more. With
Yeah.
Almighty, say you get the win again and you're building a good relationship with Ray in the promotion. Do you think if the bigger promotions like Cage Warriors don't come in yet, would you say Almighty's a show that you'd like to keep fighting on?
Yeah, I've already said to Ray, I've expressed it. I would want a headline an Almighty show, to be honest. I feel like it's a great show, the way it's run, the production's there, the fans love it, the fights, and I've said it to him. I was like, if those shows don't come, I would love to next year be one of the headline one of the shows, especially in Liverpool Olympia. I train at Aspire, a Liverpool-based gym, and I just thought it'd be a great opportunity, especially to get that experience of being a headline before hitting maybe a bigger show somewhere.
100%. And last thing from me, what can we expect on your fight on November 20th from yourself?
I think you should expect an improvement on my performance than last time. Another finish, another statement, I think. And I'm saying a dominant performance. I think people are going to make this fight to be out in their heads a lot closer than what it is, but I think I'm going to dominate it.
Well, before I let you go, how can people find yourself on social media?
Well, on Instagram, it's my name, Haider Khan, so HAIDERKHAN, MMA, and that's it.
Well, Haider, it's been a pleasure. It's great to meet you, and I can't wait to watch you fight on November 20th, mate.
Thanks very much, mate. Pleasure's mine.